Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. So today I'm going to be reviewing for you the new Sigmax brushes, and there are 3 of them, and one of them, the F80, which is a flat top that looks like this, has been out for a while, and the other 2 just came out a couple weeks ago, and these are called the Sigmax brushes, and they're sort of marketed as like an HD brush. Because they use synthetic filament, and it's really good for using liquid products, and also creates a really airbrushed look. These brushes, the whole design behind these brushes, remind me a lot of the Sephora number 55. And the Sephora number 55 airbrush is a synthetic brush. It's more of a dome shape than some of these. And this one came out a long time ago and was super popular for a really long time. But now that Sigma, which is an online makeup company I'm sure most of you are familiar with, Sigma came out with these, a lot of people have been talking about the Sigmax brushes and how much they love these more than they've been talking about other synthetic brushes like the Sephora number 55. I still really like the Sephora 55, but it is slightly different than the Sigmax brushes, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of talk through all these different brushes and, you know, kind of why they're different. The main difference between the Sigmax brushes and the Sephora number 55 is that these are going to be a lot more dense. These are some of the densest brushes I've ever used, and they're also some of the softest brushes I've ever used. The first one I got was the F80, which is a flat top kabuki, and this one is my favorite for using gel products, like thicker foundations that are harder to move around with maybe a flat foundation brush or a tapered brush like this that is a little more flimsy. This is really thick and really sturdy, so you really can control the product really well when you use something like this. And I do have a longer review of this video, or of this brush, so if you're interested, please check out that video. But my favorite, I really like to use this brush with cream to powder foundations. This is my Maybelline Dream Smooth Mousse. You know, you can just tap that in and then buff this all over your face. Also really like this for using with my Matte Velvet Plus and some other kind of thicker liquid foundations. Now that was the one that everyone kind of has already heard about. Now the other 2, this one is the angled top kabuki, and this is the F84. So you can see it has an angle there. And then the other one is called the F82, and it's the round top kabuki. And this is sort of like if you see the Handy Buki by Bare Essentials, it's kind of the same idea as that, like the really small dome-shaped kabuki, but this is synthetic fibers. So these are not going to be scratchy at all. They really hardly shed at all, and they're very, very dense. So I'm going to start with the F84. I really like using this with my Soleil de Tan bronzer by Chanel. It's also called the Bronze Universal. It's like a cream bronzing product, and I really like this one for contouring because it has that angled shape, so it gets into the contour area really well. It's also really good for cream blushes. Just using it like this, you can use it with like a stick blush, sort of like the NYC blushable cream sticks. You can put this on and then blend it out with this brush. Yeah, so I think contouring and blush, particular with cream products, is really how I like to use the angled F84. And next, the F82. This one's really cool because it is really small. If you can see, compared to the F80, it is a little smaller, so you're going to get a really precise application with this F82. It's more of like a dome shape. Now, this is super, super, super dense. Like, this is like hardly moves. Like, the bristles are so tightly packed and so dense that it like hardly moves, which again is really good for like those thicker products that you need a little extra effort to blend. I find that this one gives a little bit less coverage than the F80 because whenever you have a flat top, you're going to get the most coverage from a flat top foundation brush versus this one being more dome shaped. This one you could also use for mineral foundation. You could use it for powder. I also really like it to blend in my under eye concealer, my eye area. But in general, I think both the F80 and the F82 are really good for liquid foundations or cream to powder foundations. Now that's not to say that you can't use these with powder foundations or powder products. For some reason, I just tend to gravitate towards the more liquid products with these brushes because they are synthetic, they're not going to eat up a lot of product, they're not going to shed. And when you use liquid products on natural hair bristles, you can actually damage the brush because the liquid can actually eat away at the bristles and then you can damage your brushes. So I really don't use like natural bristled brushes on my face anymore if I'm using liquid products. So I just try to stick with synthetic bristles, which is why I reach for these. So I think in general these are all really awesome brushes. You might not need all three. If you don't use a lot of cream blush products or cream bronzer products, you probably could pass on the F84. And between these two, I think my favorite still is the F80, which has been out for a really long time. I like this one for my liquid foundation the best. Of all three, I use the F80 the most. This one, the flat top one. But I really like all of them, and if you've never tried them before, I'd highly suggest, purchasing one of them or purchasing all of them, and then from there, if you like them, you can always buy more. I didn't buy them in a set of 3, but they do come in a set of 3 on the website. So yeah, I've had really no problems with shedding on these. They're pretty easy to clean, they're very durable. I'm really, really impressed with the quality of these, especially for the price. I believe they're all around $14, but don't quote me on that. I'll put the pricing information as well as a link to them below. But these are all around probably some of the best brushes I've ever used. So if you're looking for something really high quality that's going to be really durable, that's not going to shed, that you can use with your liquid products to get that really airbrushed finish, I would definitely check out the Sigmax brushes. So thanks so much for tuning in, and if you have any questions, just leave me a comment below. Thanks for watching. Bye.